Welcome to Blitz. I'm Brian Carr here at Rabun County High School with DeeDee Dillard, 13th year head coach for the Lady Wildcats. DeeDee, always appreciate your time, and thank you so much for allowing me to come up here and talk basketball with you.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Rainy day, but
yeah, it is. I'm kind of tired of the rain, but at least you got a sport where you're indoors, so you don't have to worry about too much. But talk about the way the season's gone for you. I imagine that record-wise, you can't complain with the start. 11-1, you got a 9-game win streak, 3-0 in region play.
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. I think we've had a lot of different people step up and that have had to step up, so that's been good to see. You know, obviously having Brooke back this year has made a big difference for us. So, you know, that's been fun to watch her kind of get back to her usual self. You know, that game against North Forsyth, I think, you know, you never like losing, but I think after that game, we were able to watch film and see some of the things that we didn't do very well, and that when we want to play good teams and you want to beat good teams, that you have to do those things well. So, you know, that was a good learning experience for us, and I think since that time the girls have really bought into the fact that we have to do little things right if we want to be successful against really good teams. Yeah,
so like you're saying, sometimes there is such thing as a good loss if it's well timed. Hopefully not at the end of the season.
Oh yeah,
but, now I know you've been hit a little bit by injuries. Every team kind of goes through that, but it seems like it's been pretty significant for you this year. Talk about having to deal with that, and again, being pretty fortunate to come out 11-1 at this point despite that. And what does that say about the depth of this team?
Yeah, so I mean, I think you're right. Every team kind of battles that. We do seem to have had more than our fair share this year, and it's been to some pretty key players. So, you know, I think, you know, there's that part of you that wants to cry a little bit, and not just for yourself, but for the kids. You just hurt when your kids hurt. But at the same time, you have that mentality. I think I was watching the UCF LSU game, and at halftime, Coach O from LSU said, you know, it's next man up, and that's where we are at this time. I mean, you know, we're looking for the next man up. Who's going to come in and play with defensive intensity and look to score the ball and take care of the ball and rebound. So it's been good to see some of our young kids come in and contribute positively. You know, along with that, you almost feel like you're starting over sometimes. You know, we're at the point in the season where we don't have a week off to reconfigure our lineup and practice with that particular lineup the way that we did before the season started. So, you know, there's some learning curves going on. We're obviously out of position a little bit more than we would like to be defensively, especially on our press, but you know, at the same time, I feel like we've had some kids really take hold of that opportunity, and they're excited about that opportunity. So I think hopefully if we get some of those kids back come playoff time, you know, that depth will only benefit us.
Oh yeah, and I think that you do that really well as a program. You built this to where it is, kind of next man up mentality, because it seems like you always have an answer for who's next to fill the shoes of the seniors that leave, or so on and so forth. But who are some of those names? You talked about some that have had to kind of step up. I know, of course, we always talk about Georgia and Brooke and Lakin being that talented backcourt that you have, and you got girls like Caitlin Coleman, Destiny Dietz that kind of have done well in spots too. But who are the ones that have kind of surprised you this year in stepping up?
Well, I don't think it's really ever a surprise, because we have a lot of confidence in our young kids. You know, and Destiny is really coming into her own. That's been really fun. She's worked hard, and you know, we got to keep her out of foul trouble a little bit. But you know, just to see you know, Beth and Natalie, those are our two sophomores who have, I think this past Wednesday against Franklin, they both came in. Destiny was in foul trouble, and you know, they came in and gave us some really good minutes. And then from our freshman class, you know, Sophie Woodard, Lakin wasn't able to play in the Christmas tournament, and so Sophie came in and had 2 big games for us. So, you know, that's always good. Gracie Dietz, she's coming in and playing really good minutes for us as a freshman. Sarah Kate Robertson, she came in and gave us some good minutes. And then, you know, we have, I think, some kids in our junior class that get overlooked some. You know, they're kind of our silent, do a lot of the little things that people don't recognize, but like Allie Ramey and Hannah Cannon have had to step up their game as well. So I think it's just been a complete team effort. You know, they recognize that it's going to take all of us to get where we want to be.
And walk us through the Banks County game. That one is so much fun to watch because it always gets pretty intense near the end. It's a very physical game. But I like being able to look at you and Coach Shedd and kind of wonder, like, what's going through their mind right now, because you always seem so calm on the surface. It seemed like you never lose poise or control at all. But what's going through your mind in a game like that where it comes down to Lakin Styles hitting game-winning 3?
I mean, you probably don't want to know what I'm thinking because it's probably not all good. But at the same time, you just, again, you just try to have confidence in what you've instilled in your kids. And I think one of the reasons I try not to get too upset, we're in the second quarter. All right, so the first quarter it's tied after the first quarter, and then second quarter we get in some pretty serious foul trouble. I think I have 5 of my top 7 girls sitting on the bench in foul trouble, and they obviously went on a little run. Heather was shooting exceptionally well that night, and so we're down 14 at half, and at that point, I don't know, like I'm just telling them, we got to take care of each possession. So each possession you have to win, and we're not going to get it all back at one time. And so I felt like we did a pretty good job of that in the third quarter, just not panicking. I think, just have poise, be under control, and understand and have confidence that you're going to come back and win it. And so, one of the things I told my girls after the game that I was proud of them is like the last minute, I had one timeout, but I really wanted to save it in case we needed it. There's a minute on the clock, and there's that party that wants to coach them and tell them what to do, but we practiced it, and they should know what to do. And they did. I mean, they knew to wait for that last second shot. And so I think I was more proud of them than anything, because that's something that we practice, but you never know if that's going to carry over into a game. And so for them just to have that, that level of poise and understanding what was happening, how much time was on the clock, and what needed to be done. I mean, I was really happy for Lakin. She's a kid that doesn't get a lot of attention, and we're really not the same team without her. So just for her to hit that shot, and she got fouled, by the way. Like, it should have been an and one, whatever, but she knocked it down, so I was really happy for her.
That was a thrilling finish, to say the least, and she's part of the reason, and all the girls are, that you mentioned, that you have the #1 offense in the region at roughly 69 points per game. And even the defense has been pretty solid too. But when you kind of look at your years, I know you can't really stack it up and compare it side by side, but where would you kind of rank this offense that you have this year?
What I've really, really liked is most every game we have 3 to 4 kids in double figures. And so I think anytime you have a balanced offense, that makes you more dangerous to opposing teams, because you can't just focus. You can't focus in on one team. Having Brooke back has really helped with that, and then Destiny really playing strong in the post for us has helped alleviate some of the pressure that I think Georgia and Lakin felt last year of having to carry offensively the load for our team. So I just think it's just having a balanced attack. And then, you have like Sophie coming in. She was in double figures in both games of the Christmas tournament, and Caitlin Coleman, our other senior, she came in and had a big game for us Wednesday night. Brooke actually went down with a sprained ankle, so we were pretty skinny as far as substitutes. So, and Caitlin knew she had to step up. So, I just think it speaks to the balance that we have on our team, and hopefully that will pay off for us as well.
And I imagine is there a bit of a chip this year on the shoulder for the team, being that, as great as you've been, any team would take your year last year, but that was kind of considered almost a down year for you, an Elite 8 run, which you wouldn't imagine that, and ranked as high as #2 at one point. But the fact that you came in 3rd in the region behind, this is a really stacked region anyway, but was there a little bit of chip this year on the shoulder of wanting to get that region title back?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, yeah. And you don't want to single out any one team, but, we want to get that region title back. That's a goal that we've had, and we're mad at ourselves for not doing a better job last year and protecting it, and we feel like this is where it belongs. So we worked really hard in the off season, and again, I have kids that, they sacrifice a lot of their summer, even after what we do, to get better. And so I think all of that is just kind of lit a different kind of fire under them.
Well, I know I've known you long enough. I know you're humble, and I kind of know where you're going to go with this. You're going to downplay it, but you are closing in on a big milestone. You got 280 wins, so you got 20 more to go. Possibly, I don't know if mathematically that could happen this year or not, but you're 20 wins away from 300. What would that mean for you and for this program?
I don't think it means anything for me. It just, again, I think it just speaks to the commitment that my girls have to this program. They're committed. They buy into what I sell, and that's really important as a head coach. If they're not willing to really take on what you lay on them and what you ask of them, then it's hard to be successful. So I think it's just, a reflection of their commitment to what we've tried to kind of sell with our program. And so, will I reach it this? I don't know. I don't even really think. I didn't even know how many I had really, but obviously with the injuries, that's going to make it a little more challenging. And I think sometimes it's easy to trust in the Lord's plan for your team when things are going well, and then when you hit those rough patches. So we're just looking forward to each game. We're looking forward to this big game against Union tonight, and we're just trusting that our kids are going to step up and do what they need to do, no matter who's on the floor. That's my expectation. And I think, again, that's one of the reasons we've been successful. You have to set high expectations for your program, or the kids won't know how much they can be pushed to reach them. So.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes your program so successful, is that you're always preparing the next person up. You're always focused on the moment, not getting too far ahead of yourself, but yet you have those high expectations. But thank you so much again for your time. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to you putting up a lot more W's this year.
All right. I hope you're right.
Thanks. Go Cats.